Good afternoon, guys. Tiffany here, and we're going to be doing lunge logistics today. So first, I would actually recommend that you take off your shoes, you take off your socks. A lot of people think lunging is just the legs, but having good balance with your feet is super important. So I'll give you guys a second to do that. We'll go over some awesome techniques. Lunging is really great. A lot of people have knee issues, so they just stick to doing bilateral leg movements. But building up the strength in those legs individually is what's going to help you not be in so much pain unless you have something that's super chronic or an injury or some sort of surgery or something. But just if you just have, doing single leg stuff is hard. That's balance and that's strength. So we really want to learn how to do these lunges so that when we get into any type of like jump lunges or anything where we're actually lifting weights, that we have a good foundation of how to do these lunges. So first is balance and footing. So you guys may have seen or heard me say in a lot of my videos to spread your toes. So what we want to do is a lot of times we just think, oh, we're going to put our foot down and we're going to go in for a lunge. Unless you're super good and you can just jump into it like that because you've been doing it often, a lot of people don't know what a real good lunge looks like. So what we're doing is focusing on having a good, stable front leg. And we really want to spread those toes out. Spread them out because the wider our foundation, our base, the better that chance that we have of really having controlled movement. So when we spread that foot out in the front, we also want to make sure that the leg that's going back, or even if we're doing a forward lunge, we're not tight roping. So when we do a lunge, we don't want our feet to be in line like this. Often people think that we're supposed to be doing some sort of tightrope thing. That's definitely not true. Wider base is better for foundation. So when you step back into a lunge, you are actually stepping a little bit wider than where your legs would actually be in a regular position. So we start with the wide toes. We make sure that we're pressing through our entire foot. So all of our weight is not just in our heel or in the ball of our foot. We really use our entire foot for stabilization. We make sure that that knee always stays tapped over that ankle. So a lot of people think, oh, this is a lunge right here. You can see that knee is going past that toe line, which is really going to put some stress on that knee joint and that ankle joint as well. So when we think about doing a lunge, if we're in a lunge position like this, a lot of people think they're going forward in their lunge, but what you're actually doing is you're coming down and pressing back up with that back leg. So we also, with the back leg, we want to make sure that our toes are spread wide too, but we're not just, back there and, this back leg is just chilling. We are super activated through that back leg. That glute is activated, the hams, the calf, everything is really strong back there as well, because that's the leg that's going to help you come back up out of that lunge. So when we're also doing a front lunge, we go forward. Like I said, we don't want a tightrope. So when we move forward for a front lunge, it looks narrow, but we are not in line. This is what in line looks like. And then this is what staggered looks like. We always want to have that staggered stance. So when we come in for our front lunge, we make sure that this leg is still being a good foundation. We step forward. We make sure that we have enough space, and then we come down. So think about, instead of going forward for the lunge, you're actually coming up and going down. You're pressing through that heel of the front leg, and you're pressing through the ball and the entire leg of that back leg for that lunge. And we're just going straight up and straight down. So a lot of times people will just kind of be very sloppy with it. So you really want to learn how to do these lunges because they're actually very, very good for developing your muscles in your leg. Any type of single body movement is really going to help you to balance out the strength in your limbs. So it's super important to do that. So we'll do about 10 lunges on each leg. So I really want you guys to widen those toes. We'll start with the right leg in front. Widen those toes. Really squeeze through all of your muscles in that front leg. You want to push the top of that foot forward. So you want to make sure that that ankle isn't going side to side on that back leg, and you're really pushing the top of that foot forward, and this back leg is really strong, and you make sure you have a good distance. So you don't want to be too close, because then if you're doing lunges like that, then your knee is bound to go over, and you're really not getting the full effect of that rear leg. So you want to get, it'll be a little uncomfortable getting your leg kind of far, but you want to be able to come straight down and catch these angles here. Nice 90-degree angle here and a nice 90-degree angle there, and you're coming back up. So let's try for 10 on each side. So we'll come down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome job. And then you push off that rear leg to come back up. So we'll do it on the other side, spreading those toes on the left leg, making sure that we are not tight roping. So we're not toes in line with the other. We really have a good stagger. We're stepping out to the side, charging through that whole back leg, powerful through the front leg, making sure that knee stays stacked over that ankle. And we go down and up instead of forward and back. And 10 reps begin. 1, 2, and we squeeze everything at the top. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Pushing forward to come out of it. So a lot of variations include jumping lunges. So when we do a jumping lunge, what is the most important thing, honestly, is your landing. So we want to make sure that if we do a jumping lunge, we have that good foundation already. So if you're not really good with your lunges yet and you haven't built up that strength, then I would just suggest doing regular lunges until you can really get into that jumping position. But for our jump lunges, it's really important that you have that foundation and you want to jump, but you want to try to land as soft as possible and land in that lunge and immediately jump out of it. That way you're not continuing to have stress on those joints. So when we come in for our jump lunge, we come down, nice and easy down. Make sure that descend is nice and clean. And then we switch legs, just like that. So it's a little bit harder to keep it as clean, but when we hit that descend, the jump really is to just get us into position. Then we hit the lunge nice and easy. Then we switch back. So let's try to do 6 of those switching. So we'll start with our left leg out front in that good lunge position. We'll come down, use that momentum coming up from that lunge to switch your legs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good job, guys. So a lot of that is balance. You see, you can easily topple over. So when you come into that jump lunge, if you're not stable in those feet before you even descend, then you're going to have trouble coming up and switching your feet. So let's go ahead and do some front lunges. These, for a lot of people, are very awkward. Reverse lunges are just kind of simpler because you can it's a better feel. So forward lunges, it kind of feels kind of strange because you're not really sure how far you should go. So you always want to make sure that you just make sure you stabilize through that foot, and you'll feel it if you're not far enough, because if you're too close and you're not going forward in your lunge and you're going up and down, you're gonna realize that you're too close. So you want to take a nice big step for that forward lunge, really stabilize that foot, and then come down and then push through that heel to bring that foot back. So we're going forward, stabilizing through that foot, pushing through that heel to push ourselves back as we push through the ball of the foot on the rear foot. So we'll try it. Let's do 5 forward lunges on each side. We'll start with the left leg. We'll go forward for 5 and then switch to the right. So go forward, plant the foot, push on the heel to come back. 1, 2, 3. You always want to take your time on the descent and use that momentum coming up to push back. 4, 5, and then we'll switch to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, last one, and 5. And notice when you're going forward, remember we're not tight roping because that's not going to keep us stable. We're going forward. You can see that I come out a little bit when I go into my forward lunge because the wider the base, the better the foundation for you. So let's get into some movements here. So we can do, we'll just put some stuff together so that you can really feel your lunges. We'll do some pulse lunges as well, because those are really good for you. So let's do 5 of each type of lunge. So we'll do 5 pulse lunges on each side, and then we'll do 5 jump lunges, and then we'll do 5 reverse lunges on each side, and then we'll do 5 forward lunges, just so you guys can feel the difference of how it's supposed to be. And at any time, you can always add weights. I wouldn't add weights to the jump lunge because of the impact. You really don't want to add too much weight and put that much pressure on the joints because you're already doing such a jump movement. So really steer clear of adding weights for those. But as far as the other movements, totally adding weight is going to just build up those muscles around the knees and the ankles and the legs, and it's just going to help you be able to get this movement a lot smoother. So we'll start with our left leg out front, right leg is in back, and we have that good stagger going on. Make sure we're spreading those toes out wide on both feet, pressing through the entire foot on the front leg, really pressing that top of that foot forward, engaging that entire leg in the back and on the ball of the foot. So even in this position right now, my entire lower body should be contracted. We haven't even started the lunge yet, but our body needs to be fully contracted so we know, okay, we're about to do a movement. We're going to need to recruit all of our muscles so we can stay stable, balanced, and move through the movement fluidly. So let's begin. 5 reps each and go. Up and down, remember, not forward and back, up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice job. Push back, and we'll go in for our other side. Engage all those leg muscles and come down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice work. Shake them out. Now we'll do our jump lunges. We'll do 6 of those. So 3 on each side. And remember, once we get out of the jump, we descend slowly. And then we use the momentum coming up to switch our legs and then try to land as softly as possible, stabilizing through those feet. And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Nice work. And then we'll do some forward lunges. First 5 on the right, and then we'll go to the left. Begin. 1, 2. And you shouldn't be descending until you feel good where your foot is. So sometimes it won't be as quick as I'm doing it, but as soon as you get that foot there, you really want to press through that foot and then come down and then press back. 4 and 5. And then switching legs, and I'll turn so you can see how my legs stagger. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice work, job. And we'll do 5 reverse ones. So we'll start with the right for 5. 1, remember up and down, not forward and back. 2, try to get those nice angles. 3, 4, and 5, switching legs. Now we're going back with the left. 1, 2, that chest up. 3, 4, and 5. Awesome job, guys. I hope this short little block of instruction helps you to understand how to better stabilize through your lunges, guys. Amazing, amazing exercise to do, building up those legs, really toning, like just from what we've done in this short 15 minutes, my legs are already on fire. So you can do that without weights. You can even do a light weight and do them for high reps to get that good muscular endurance going. But remember that the lunges are for the legs, but our feet are really included, and we really need to learn to use all of our muscles in our toes and the entire foot, not just the heel or the ball. We really need to make sure that we stabilize on the bottom so that we can really carry ourselves up through the top of the body, staying contracted through the whole movement. Hope you guys are having a great afternoon so far. I will see you later.